To review Barcelona's 3-2 victory over Athletic Club, I'd love to just say Messi's best game of the season was kind of what sums it all up. Pedri is special, and that's just my match review. For those who don't know, obviously, you can tell by my accent, I'm an American, and with everything happening in the news today, my attention was certainly not all within this game, so I do just want to say I'm going to give it my best. I tried to watch, tried to understand it, rewatched a little bit of it just to get an idea of some of the tactical things that were happening, so this is my best effort just with everything that's going on, at least inside and outside my little world here in the US. To preface the match, Barcelona had scored 0 goals in their last 3 games against Athletic Club at the San Mamés since the new stadium, so we'll say the new San Mamés, opened a few years ago. That last goal was scored by who else but Paulinho back in 2017. Athletic Club's new manager Marcelino went with a 4-4-2 in his first game in charge, with what you can argue is his best 11 players on paper at least, and Koeman countered with what I predicted in my column preview, Griezmann in for Braithwaite, and to my surprise was Busquets, who started against Huesca, starting again, but in that 4-2-3-1, but just as I said against Huesca on the weekend, it really does look a lot more like a 4-3-3 with De Jong's position constantly in front of Busquets, and yeah, I guess a 4-3-3 with Messi being very, very fluid and basically going wherever he wants on the pitch, but we'll say it was a 4-3-3 with Messi. Dembélé, though, switches to the right for this match. Griezmann comes in on the left and up top. And then Pedri was really more in the midfield, as I said, in a 4-3-3, pushing forward as well as the attacking midfielder of the three. I did speak about a manager bump prior to this one, and Athletic Club did make good on that promise, scoring the opening goal just 3 minutes in. Iñaki Williams, the danger man, the target man, the one to worry about for Athletic Club. Barca with a little bit of possession, but then Raul Garcia, he didn't really tackle anybody, didn't put any cleats in to any shins just yet in the match before he was able to deliver a through ball onto Williams, who turns Lenglet inside out and nets past Ter Stegen. Way too easy for Iñaki Williams on the finish as well. Maybe Ter Stegen could have done a little bit better, and Lenglet can't get cut inside out like that. Dest also caught out of position, it should be noted. The 1-1, though, about 11 minutes later, 14th minute, Pedri ties it up, a team goal to a T. Messi from the left, an insane ball to De Jong over the top, who was making the far post run just like he did against Huesca, so a repeat of that, and De Jong gets it back in front to Pedri for the easy header. So for the second straight game, let's not worry about De Jong to Messi, but instead relish in the newfound wonder that is Messi to De Jong. And Pedri, not really a record here, but he becomes the 6th youngest visitor to score at Athletic in La Liga, and that's going all the way back. The youngest ever was Zubieta in 1935. We hear Bojan, who scored for who else but Barcelona in 2008, and some other. Santi Mina in 2013 was another one on that list as well that is notable. 34th minute, Dembélé, haven't mentioned him yet, but Dembélé gets a long shot off, and while it wasn't necessarily a sparkling, highlight reel-filled performance by Dembélé, I thought he was really important to the game plan for Barcelona, and because he's a constant threat in a way that Griezmann and Coutinho aren't on the dribble, those spaces, especially in that 4-4-2 zonal system that I'm going to continue to break down here as we talk about this match, Dembélé winds up popping up in those spots and adds the width that we know is required to bring out those players so they cannot stay in their solid lines. And when we do talk about that space, leads us right into speaking about the second goal for Barcelona. 38th minute, Pedri-Messi connection is something Francesca and I have been harping on, and it's what makes Pedri so special, what's between the ears and the things that he sees. This goal, though, does come from Athletic Club not doing a good enough job closing down space on Messi. We talk about space. He had way too much of it in the middle of the field, and when you give Lionel Messi about 10 yards within 40 yards of goal, I know it's a lot of numbers there, but if you give him that kind of space in that area of the field, bad things are going to happen to you. So Messi gets it to Pedri, who cuts it back, rolls it back with the back heel to Messi. Messi making the run. Vesca doesn't track the run. That was another issue with Athletic Club today. They were not tracking Messi properly. So Messi gets it back and aims it into the open goal as Simon has come out in preparation of a ball in for the runs being made to his back post. But still out of position for me, Simon could have done better. Pedri said after the match that he didn't even see Messi on the back heel. Messi just called for it perfectly, getting it in stride, and then aiming the ball into the back of the net. Griezmann almost scores seconds later. Dembélé on the break finds Griezmann, whose shot is saved by Simon. By that point, it was 7 shots on target compared to 2. Simon started the match bright, but he did certainly have some things happen between the ears and could have done better for Athletic Club. They might have gotten some result if he was better in this match. as we continue to talk about that space, the runs into the spaces of that zonal 4-4-2 were certainly the key. And Marcelino having his first match in charge and taking what was a 4-2-3-1 in previous weeks, even though it's similar personnel in similar positions, it was a 4-4-2 that Barcelona were easily finding that space in between the back line of four and the midfield line. Pedri in particular, Griezmann was putting himself in those spots and occupying attention, but Pedri was the one who was popping up in those spots and receiving the ball and doing the right thing with it. He had a ridiculous first half, did Pedri. De Jong, Dembélé, and Dest were all solid, I must say, but Pedri, 2 key passes, 3 successful passes, 2 long balls, 3 duels won, 41 touches. That's just the first half, though. That's a full match for most attacking midfielders in the Liga if they had a good game and delivered on those key passes. And again, that's in 45 minutes for Pedri. Not a great start, though, to the second half for Barca, ter Stegen close to getting caught out. But fortunately for Barca, they held on at that moment to the 2-1. And after that scare, they did answer, though. De Jong wins it in midfield. Messi just offside for what was almost his second of the day at that point. A few minutes later, he hits the post. And at that point, I'm thinking this might be Messi's best performance of the season. One of the big reasons Barcelona got the 3 points today. And I did say that prior to his second goal even. And yes, he did have the giveaway for the last goal of the game. But still, for me, from start to finish, probably Messi's best of the season. 3-1, the feeling, as I said, that Messi's second was coming. Alba to Griezmann and Messi making the run to the near post, curls it right over the hand of Simon. Athletic Club just could not keep track of him. They did not keep a body on him. And when you let him get loose, and it's a surprise because Athletic Club, we know they're a physical team. They like to dig in, especially when they're playing at home. And very rarely are they physically outclassed in the way that Messi did with them today. Constantly with his own body or passes, he found the space in between the lines and in between individual defenders today and continued to slice up Athletic Club on the evening. 72nd minute, again, Messi hits the post. 75th minute, though, Dembélé and Dest out for Braithwaite and Mingueza, who were not helpful subs. Ray Hudson on beIN Sports was right to criticize those substitutions, and he, tongue-in-cheek always brings up the idea that Poo should have come in. A terrific crossfield ball by Pedri and a good trap and pass forward from Mingueza was wasted by another Braithwaite poor touch. I think playing Braithwaite out wide seems pointless to me because occupying center backs is really the only thing he contributes at a top level. Yes, he can do a few things at a quality La Liga level, but at a top level, it doesn't make sense to me to just have him out defending on the wing because he doesn't contribute almost anything attacking from the wing position. And with Alenya now off to Hadafe, but Trincao and Puig expected to stick around, and Conrad awaiting his La Liga debut on the bench, you'd think this would have been the match at that point when it was 3-1 to throw them in. But hey, Koeman was probably feeling himself up 3-1, and Koeman is going to Koeman. No surprise though, and I shouldn't be. But Koeman was punished for his poor subs. It winds up being 3-2 with a few minutes left to go in the match. As much as Koeman, I think his subs definitely took something out of that match and gave Athletic Club a little bit of life to end it. I think so much of the blame would have been immediately put on the captain who was having his best game of the season if Athletic Club were able to get that third goal and equalize, because Athletic Club making him pay, Berenger intercepts, but it really was an interception. The ball was right to his feet, and he delivers it to Muniain, who finishes one time. It was a pretty difficult finish, I must say, with Muniain popping up in between two Barca players, finishing past ter Stegen. It was over, but again, frustrating because it wasn't over, and we wanted those good feelings, we wanted those good vibes, especially again with me who is constantly doom scrolling on the internet all day as the match is going on. I wanted to feel something, I wanted some good news, so that feeling again that Barca were the better team, but the result and those 3 points were always in question, even to that final minute. But Barca did hold on somehow and squeaked out the 3 points, so I will take that. I will tell you, too, that earlier today, Barca Femení defeated Espanyol 5-0 at the Camp Nou, and I'm actually going to have a match review, trying to get rid of some of the negativity in today. A match review, even though the Barca Femení match happened before the first team match, that one's going to be out shortly after this one. So in the next few hours, keep an eye out for that one, because I'm really excited to talk about the Barca Femení and their dominating performance. So in a few days, Barcelona will be back at it again, and until then, Forza Barca.